WCBI News at 10 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news in Aberdeen. Police there investigating a possible homicide. WCBI's Cash Matlock is live at the Aberdeen Police Department with the latest. Cash, what can you tell us?
That's right, Scott. We're here in front of the Aberdeen Police Department where police are investigating a shooting incident. Now, I'm joined now by Assistant Police Chief Quinnell Shumpert and Detective Dwayne Ely. Gentlemen, what can you tell us so far about tonight's incident?
This afternoon at approximately 1912, we received a call that a victim had been shot at 609 Baptist Street here in Aberdeen. We arrived on scene, found the victim deceased, laying on the sidewalk in front of his residence.
Okay, and then can you release any details on the victim as far as his name or anything like that?
Can't release his name just now. Some of the family probably hadn't been notified yet. But we did pick up the suspect. She was currently incarcerated in Monroe County Jail.
Okay. Any details on her or a motive by her?
They were in an argument over a vehicle.
And then any details as far as her name or her age?
Her name's Lillian Kaysen. I believe she's 31 years of age, black female.
Anything else that you can release on this at all?
Not at this time.
Okay. Well, for now, we are reporting live in front of Aberdeen Police Department. This is an active investigation. We're going to have more details as this develops. I want to toss it back to you, Scott, in the studio.
Thank you very much, Cash, for that report. Again, a suspect there in custody in that fatal shooting. Well, in other news tonight, the decision to collect a 1% hotel and restaurant tax in Starkville now comes down to a vote. At tonight's meeting, aldermen voted to hold the election on May 30th. Our Quentin Smith, he was there at that meeting. He joins us live in the studio with more. Quentin.
Yes, Scott, the city is looking to improve its parks all across town, and they believe this 1% hotel and restaurant tax will help them do just that. However, before it can be implemented, 60% of residents must vote in favor of this tax increase. If passed, city leaders say the money will be used for the development of Cornerstone Tournament and Recreation Park, and along with that, improvements will also be made to existing parks. Mayor Lynn Spruill says the tax could help bring in roughly $1 million to the area.
I have all along said that we have lots of opportunities to do good things in the community, and parks is one of those very important pieces of what we are responsible for. You know, cities do infrastructure, they do water, they do government, but parks is also part of what we do. And so it's time for us to step up and make our parks the very best that they can be.
Now, the 1% tax won't be the only thing residents will be voting for on May 30th. There will also be a special election for the Ward 5 alderman seat. Now, I do want to point out, only residents living in Ward 5 can vote on this matter. You may remember it was yesterday when we first reported that Patrick Miller is stepping down from the position. Whoever is elected will serve out the remainder of his term. Scott?
Here in Columbus, Sunday will be the last day for Columbus residents to push tornado debris to the curbside for pickup. Looks Great Services has been collecting debris off the side of the road since last Tuesday. So far, they've collected 1.6 million pounds of debris. 364 tons of that debris has been vegetation. The city is encouraging all of those with debris to take advantage of this last week of pickup. Columbus Police Chief Fred Shelton swears in 4 new CPD officers at tonight's City Council meeting. Fire Chief Andrews also swore in 2 new fire and rescue firefighters. Now, the council also voted to promote 3 Columbus Police Department officers. Due to current budget restraints, the officers will not receive a boost in their salary. Instead, they will receive higher rankings and a chance to gain experience in these roles, with the possibility of receiving a pay increase in the future. The officers will be pinned at the next council meeting. During executive session tonight, the council voted to suspend 1 CPD officer for 5 working days for misconduct. Columbus Lowndes County Crime Prevention Task Force is one step closer to doing what their name entails. In their latest meeting, committee heads gave their recommendation for combating crime. Soon they will create a crime prevention survey to distribute to the community. They want to get a variety of information before submitting that final report.
So one of the things that we want to do is we want to dispel the misnomers and give the citizens a clear understanding of what's happening as it relates to criminality, the challenges that we face.
Once the remaining committees finish their discussions, the committee heads will meet to finalize a report. That report will then be given to the mayor and city council. Time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson to get a first look at our forecast. Hey there, Keith.
It's got a little bit of traffic out here in Starkville. You can see some cars moving on by, but overall weather all quiet. That's the DOT camera there in Starkville. 59 at the airport. One of the cooler spots here across our region. 60 in Columbus, 65 still in Tupelo, 58 in Winona. Just a few more degrees here. Lows tonight down into the mid-50s. Mainly clear and quiet for your Wednesday. A mix of sun and clouds. We will be staying mild, southerly breezes. Clouds are a little bit more noticeable. Severe weather potential here as we get into our Thursday afternoon and evening. Well, more in just a few minutes.
Well, there's new traction on the controversial Yazoo Pumps project. It would keep more than 500,000 acres of the lower Mississippi Delta from flooding, as it currently is, and the EPA has agreed to review its previous decision to veto the project. But as Courtney Ann Jackson explains, opponents continue to push back.
The Yazoo Pump project was first approved by Congress in 1941. Work started but eventually stalled, and the EPA vetoed it in 2008. Now there are renewed calls for it to be resurrected, with the governor and Mississippi's congressional leaders on board.
Each time I go up there, I get more determined to do something about this, and it could have, I think, been alleviated a long time ago with the pumps, and we're going to get that done.
But the other side of the controversy hasn't died down as the waters kept rising.
Oh, the Yazoo Pumps is an environmental disaster and economic boondoggle.
Conservation groups are asking for alternatives to be explored.
Mississippi Wildlife Federation's biggest concern is that the project doesn't meet the cost-benefit analysis.
They say some of the alternatives already have federal programs that could help, and at a fraction of the cost to taxpayers. Those options include flood-proofing homes by elevating them, elevating roadways to increase access during high water events, and a new ask for the farmers.
There are actually another set of federal programs and dollars available to these farmers who, on a voluntary basis, can work with the federal authorities to get paid to return those croplands back to natural wetlands.
In 2008, the EPA's veto cited that the pumps would have adverse effects on thousands of acres of wetlands, and opponents still have those concerns.
The mitigation for this project is a large part of the cost. So we're talking about converting 75% of the agriculture acres back to wetlands, only to put a pump on there to drain the wetlands.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Governor Phil Bryant signs a bill that gives a $1,500 pay raise to teachers and assistant teachers across the Magnolia State. Earlier today, Bryant's Twitter account posted a photo of himself signing Senate Bill 2770. The tweet was captioned with the statement, "Good teachers can change the trajectory of a student's life forever." The Mississippi Department of Education says that currently Mississippi teachers make almost $6,000 less than the southeastern average. Now, the minimum salary for assistant teachers is just over $12,000 a year. That will now increase to $14,000. The new pay raise will take effect on July the 1st. More than $3 million in improvements are coming to the Golden Triangle Industrial Aerospace Park. The Lowndes County Board of Supervisors approved the industrial development bonds this week. Money will be used to buy land, repaint water tanks, install a pump station, upgrade the wastewater treatment facility, and replacing water lines. Some of the funds will also pave a portion of Charlie Ford Jr. Drive. The park is located along and just off of Airport Road. County Administrator Ralph Billingsley says the bonds must be paid within 12 years at an interest rate of 2.9%.
Our Off Insurance Camera Network is picking up on absolutely nothing. Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon, at Durham's Pharmacy, Louisville, Mississippi right there. Some light shining. Some folks out and about. Your full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Some cirrus clouds coming in this evening at the right time to give us a pretty nice sunset. Hopefully you saw that on the western horizon earlier this evening. Over 30 tornadoes in the Twin States this past weekend, 19 in Mississippi and 13 in Alabama. Preliminary numbers from the National Weather Service offices in Mississippi and Alabama. We are watching this rain down here in the desert Southwest. I know it's a long ways away, but the energy associated with that is swirling around, and that will help drive a system through here Thursday. So yes, more severe weather coming our way. Damaging wind potential. Yes, there may be some tornado potential around here too, in addition to some hail and some heavy downpours. Let me show you where one computer model at least is suggesting the better tornado threat could actually be across central and southern Mississippi. This would be Thursday afternoon and evening. Now, you still see some color up here, so we can't rule it out. This is just one solution. I'm throwing that out there, where a lot of folks have been asking, will it be as bad as what we just had this weekend? Well, all modes of severe weather are still possible this Thursday, but we'll crunch the numbers and see if we can't push that extreme tornado threat to our south here. Again, stay tuned for updates on that tomorrow. Durham's Pharmacy, Vernon, Alabama, Friday afternoon, 3:30 to 5:30. We're programming weather radios. If you can't get there, come to Kroger in Columbus Saturday morning, this Saturday morning, as you get your Easter goodies. Stop by and say hello. Maybe get yourself a weather radio. You never know when one of those storms can pop on up, especially at night, like the ones we just had this weekend. Wednesday, no problems with storms. We start out in the 50s, back into the 70s during the course of the afternoon. Mid to upper 70s to around 80, a little bit warmer off to our southwest, 82 in Hattiesburg. So you can see the clouds streaming on in for tomorrow, but the rain's going to stay back to the west during our day. Wednesday night. Now, Thursday morning, there's going to be a batch of storms decaying as they across the Mississippi River and approach our area. So we don't really have to worry about that, I don't think. Now, as we get into the afternoon hours, there will be another batch of storms that will be getting to develop. And you can see how there's a line being forecast right here, more or less a solid line with this particular product. If that verifies, damaging wind would be more of a threat than a tornado threat. However, you just never know the way these systems come together. A tornado can spin up pretty fast here. So we are on the lookout for that potential there Thursday, in addition to some heavy rain, some lingering showers Friday, a cool day for us, but your Easter weekend looks great, Scott, pushing 80 by Sunday.
Boonville firefighters' lip-syncing skills are getting them some national attention. More on the viral video when we come back. The Boonville Fire Department is in the running for a top spot in an upcoming CBS television special. As our Allie Martin reports, the department's Leap Sync Challenge video is featured in an interactive special where viewers vote for their favorite performances featuring first responders.
For firefighters, answering calls and conducting equipment checks is part of any shift. But over a 4-day period last summer, Boonville firefighters got a crash course in the art of making a music video. The video was made at the tail end of the lip sync challenge craze that swept the nation. Boonville native Trevor George now works in the music industry in Nashville and has produced a number of music videos. He came up with the song and concept, getting the entire community involved in the professional production. It took 4 days to shoot and 3 weeks to edit.
He told us it was going to be top-notch video, and when we saw it, it was amazing what he did with that camera.
The video caught the attention of producers for the upcoming CBS show Lip Sync to the Rescue. It is one of 30 videos on the show's website, and it is in the running to be featured on the TV special.
It boosted their morale. The community really loved it and got behind it, and we didn't know it would go this far.
Although Boonville is up against some larger police and fire departments in larger cities across the country, that doesn't matter. What matters is the number of votes cast. One person can vote as often as they want to in this race.
You vote on CBS website under Lip Sync to the Rescue, and you find the video, preferably Boonville's video, and click vote. You can vote as many times as you want. Being the only department from the state of Mississippi in this contest, I think it'd be good for the state also. And of course, the challenge for the video was for the nation to quit being so divisive and to try to draw people together.
The top 10 videos will make it to the television special, where a live vote will decide the winner. In Boonville, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, for a link to watch the video in full and your vote, go to our website, wcbi.com. The Diamond Dogs staying red hot in Starkville, picking up yet another midweek win. Highlights from Starkville are coming up next in sports.
Here's WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel.
Ever since the series loss to LSU, the Bulldogs have won 7 of its last 8 games. With a big series approaching, MSU trying to stay in the flames. The hits king of the dude, Jake Mangum, and the Bulldogs taking on Texas Southern. Elijah McNamee rewarding Jake for getting on base. RBI double in the first has MSU up 1-0. Top of the third, though, the game's going to tie up. A double steal from Texas Southern. Dustin Skelton's throw is off to third, gets to the outfield, and ties the ball game at 1. And it would stay that way for the next 4.5 innings until the bottom of the 8th. Offense comes alive for the Dogs. Justin Foskey with a bloop to third with 2 on. Gets past the infielder to score a run. That gives the Bulldogs the lead. 3-1 after a sac bunt from Rowdy Jordan. Enter Dustin Skelton. Let's put this one on ice. Skelton with a mashed tater to deep left center. Adios baseball. Big 8th inning wraps things up. Bulldogs win 5-1. That's what it should have been. It'll be a big top 10 matchup between the Dogs and the Hogs starting on Thursday. Ole Miss going for the rivalry sweep against Memphis. The big Cole Zabowski gets things off to a great start for the Rebels. Mashed to deep left field. Somehow this one stays inside the park. That's going to bring home a run, and the Rebels take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 now, staying in the inning. Josh Hall with the suicide squeeze turns on the Jets. First baseman slips, and Hall gets on base and brings home another run, so 4-0 Rebels. After 4, Memphis tacks on 2 runs. 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, but the Rebels adding insurance thanks to a mistake. Greg Kessinger takes advantage of the wild pitch. 5-2 Ole Miss, and that would help because the tying run at the plate for Parker Caracci. Rebels able to turn a double play to end the ball game, and that would shut the door. Rebels get the win 5-2. Weekend series at Auburn up next. In SEC softball, Mississippi State hangs on to a midweek win against UAB, and Ole Miss dominates UT Martin 13-0. Egg Bowl version of softball up next. The Rebels and Bulldogs will meet starting on Thursday. We'll hope so. I mean, hopefully the weather stays away so we can get some good softball for Thursday through Saturday. 2 of the top teams in Mississippi JUCO baseball meeting for a doubleheader, splitting 1 apiece. Northwest winning game 1 5-2. ICC rebounding to a win 6-3. ICC's next action will be Friday with another doubleheader against Colin. The Collegiate Championship at the Old Waverly Golf Course in West Point coming to a close today. Louisiana Monroe winning the overall team tournament, outlasting Ole Miss thanks to a birdie on 18 for the win. So Ole Miss finishes 1 stroke back as Louisiana Monroe gets the win. Vanderbilt in 3rd, Little Rock in 4th, and Mississippi State rounding out the top 5, shooting 13 under for 5th. And on the individual side, Middle Tennessee's Marcus Bird wins, shooting 13 under for the week. Jackson Suber of Ole Miss placing 2nd, and Mississippi State's Garrett Johnson rounding out the top 3. Moorville taking on Hamilton for regular season softball finale. Moorville's Addison Biffle gets base hit, gets one for a single, turns on the bases. Then several batters later, Peyton Gillentine slashes hit to left. Biffle's going to score, make it 1-0 for the Lady Troopers after 3. This was a defensive slugfest. Bottom 4, same score. Carly Sullivan with a slow roller. First baseman can't corral it. Moorville would be able to tack on 2 runs, and that's all they need as they get the W over Hamilton 2-0. So regular season softball and baseball is now closed. We'll await the playoffs series beginning on Friday and Saturday with Game 3s on Monday if necessary. If you've got a playoff series coming up, possible changes due to the weather, let us know. Tweet me at Tom_Ebel or at WCBI Sports on Twitter. Let us know, and we'll get out to your playoff softball games as we're starting to end diamond season, if you can believe it or not. Here we are. That's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
Aspiring young entrepreneurs had a chance to present ideas to judges in Starkville tonight. 9 groups of Starkville students presented their original innovations. Students were competing to win thousands of dollars to get a jump start on their future businesses. Now, the LCM Green Company won the junior high division high school dry erase. They won the high school division and the overall award. Organizers say the competition helps students get an early start on making their dreams come true.
When we started, we encouraged any of the teams that want to carry on with their project to contact us at the Entrepreneurship Center. We also have a public makerspace right around the corner here, and we'd be happy to help them develop a prototype to bring that dream to a reality.
Now, this year's competition was put on by the Mississippi State Entrepreneur Center, the GSDP, and International Paper.
Thousands of dollars. You've piqued my interest there, Scott.
Right? I wish I was business-minded.
Why weren't we there pitching some ideas today?
We should have been.
All right. Well, we can be comfortable in knowing that tomorrow should be pretty nice weather-wise. Some rain and storms likely Thursday. Some of those could be on the hefty side. Cool Friday. Your Easter weekend looking pretty good there. Just in time for the Easter Bunny.
You know, I know a lot of people out there doing some cleanup and stuff. If they're not careful, they'll get a tan or a sunburn.
That sun is very potent. Yes.
Ooh.
Sunscreen needed.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.